Hi, Kylie Wilson here from Inner-Galactic Alchemy. So it's time for a bit of a share. It's been quite some time since I've just come on and just shared weird things. I've got 3 things that I wanted to kind of share with you. The first is a really weird experience that happened on Thursday night, so about 3 nights ago. I know I was dreaming. I can't remember the dream. It was one of those weird ones that don't make sense. And my cat woke me up in the middle of the night. So it was completely dark, just me in the house. And I turned my head, and in my sleepiness, I saw this bright light, which seemed to me to be on the outside, shining through the cracks in my blinds. And then it kind of like, so if I look out the window, so I was looking out the window and it was this bright white light, and then it just went like that and disappeared. However, there was no sound. There was no sound that matched the movement. There was no noise at all. Now, outside my window, my bedroom window looks over the roof of my garage, which is in front of a very quiet laneway. But I'm in a townhouse. I'm not at road level. So it was impossible for it to be a car, because a car would be going that way. Like, there's no way that a light would be able to be shining straight through to my window. And the garage roof is in the way anyway, and I'm up on level 2. There is no explanation for this light. It was just a bright light, and it just went and sped away, and it was dead quiet. So anyway, I think maybe I had a visitor. Second weird thing to happen in the last month. Another one, I might as well just say it. So in my walk-in robe, I have a manhole. So, there's a square cut out in the ceiling. You push it up and out, and you can get into the ceiling. So I actually had a friend over, and we were having a chat for a couple of hours. And when she left, I came upstairs to put a jumper on to go pick up my son from school, and the manhole was completely open. So I was just so shocked, because my ceiling is white, and then there's this big black hole, and it totally shook me. I was completely freaked out because there was no explanation. And I thought, it was really, really windy the night before, and I thought, maybe somehow it's lifted. Anyway, I got a chair to reach high enough to be able to put it back, and as it slotted in, it slots in quite low. There's no way that it would have moved from wind or by itself. That was manually moved. And I was at home the whole day and I did not hear anything. And so that kind of freaked me out as well. I still to this day do not know how to explain that. So anyway, 2 really weird things going on. Right. The other thing I wanted to share, which is something that has been, I kind of got the other morning as I was waking up, and also it was kind of come to me again early this morning as something to share, because it's just kind of, it's not going away in my mind, so I feel like I just need to share it. So it's about what is happening now, and about what is happening with our ancestral the stuff that's passed down generations and generations in a traumatic way. So what I kept seeing an image of is, if you could imagine a train with lots of carriages, and instead of the train coming through me and then down through my bloodline and into the next generation, I just saw this image of a train carrying the trauma or the patterns or whatever else that's being carried through generations. Instead of it coming through me, what I was shown is that the carriages are going boom, 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 into me. And it was showing me that that's what's happening to all the people who are doing the work and and aware and processing and transmuting and healing and releasing and forgiving and loving everything as much as we can. So we are actually stopping that train. We are stopping the generational curses and karmic load from carrying on. And it's a hard task. And the way I saw it was like a next carriage, like it's compounding. So we're not just processing one generation's worth of stuff. We're processing the whole train and all the carriages. The buck is stopping with us, yeah, and we kind of know that. We know that we're ending generational things. I don't have the word for it. I don't really want to say curses because it doesn't. A curse is just a little bit of what you could be processing, all sorts of things. But so that is why it is so challenging for us right now, and why you might be feeling so like you've been hit by a train, because we pretty much are. Carriages and carriages worth of generational ancestral baggage that we are going, no more. This is not happening anymore. And thus it's coming back into us for us to transmute, process, and whatnot. So I just felt like I really wanted to share that insight, that is what is going on, and that is why it's such a struggle for many people right now. So yeah, okay, so that takes me to the next point. So I saw another image of something early this morning as well, and I guess it was inspired by learning yet more details about what's happening with the child trafficking and the abuse and the rituals and that particular rabbit hole. But that's not where this relates. That's the catalyst. What I saw was certain people needing to hold such resilience and such fortitude in their own being to be able to detach themselves enough from that so that we can hold a ring. I saw circles of people holding hands and this big abyss dropping down inside the circle. And what I perceived was the public, the general public, who are going to be exposed to this really, really, really soon. It's about to burst. This volcano is about to erupt and spill everywhere for everyone to see, and people are going to get burnt, and people... And I know that I have friends and contacts who are very spiritually grounded and aware and open-hearted people, and they are having moments where they're really struggling with dealing with this awareness and knowledge of this torture that has been happening to generations and generations and generations of children on this planet. It's very sickening and it's heartbreaking. However, we cannot fall into the abyss with everyone else. There are people who are going to have to be resilient enough to witness everyone else go into shock, trauma, fear, hatred, and all the rest as they find out what's going on en masse, and to be able to withstand that global the global trauma that is about to come, because that's going to be a big energy. So it's not only the knowledge of the visuals that we're going to be shown that is going to impact us, and so is the collective response to that. And I saw people standing and holding hands, creating this supportive ring around this dark abyss. And what I saw was people climbing themselves out, right? We do not go in the abyss with them. Just like I'm sure pretty everyone that was probably going to be listening to this has had some sort of dark night of the soul, some experience that has torn your reality away, whatever you want to call that. Some people might call it an ego death. Some people, I don't like that, because that's, you know, your ego is just one part of you. So there's more to it than just an ego death. There's, you know what I'm talking about. All right. And the growth that we all gain from that, the ability for us to stand so strong in our knowing and who we are, was because we got ourselves through that. We figured it out. We healed ourselves with help and with support, but we got ourselves out of that hole. So there's going to be a lot of people going into a big, dark, nasty hole. And we are not to go in after them and try and save them. That is not our job. Because if you do, you're going to be in there with it, and then you're going to have to figure out that eventually you're actually, only thing you can do is save yourself again and get yourself back out. But what I did see was a stronghold of people standing side by side, hand in hand, around this abyss, and waiting for a hand to reach up, and we grab and we put our hand down and we grab that person's hand and we pull them out, and we support them on their way out. And we hold our ground. We hold our ground so that there is something for them to return to. Because as the whole world crumbles, this is why we've been doing everything we've been doing for however long. You know, I haven't really been on my personal journey for that long compared to some people who have been aware for 20, 30 years. You know, my dark night of the soul started when I split up with my ex-husband. That's nearly 6 years ago now. So that was just the catalyst. And then the steps, then my journey began. Some people may only be a couple of years or a couple of months in, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here and that you're able and ready to be exactly where your soul needed you to be, and on the right date with the right people to do what you needed to do. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who's awake and spiritually aware and aware of the truth and standing in sovereignty has to be part of this stronghold. You know, I think it takes a very unique quality combination of frequency. You were either made to play that role, or you were made to do something different. But I saw myself as one of those people, withstanding the storm and creating the stronghold and waiting to put my hand out and grab those hands as they climb. So they got to climb up. They've got to go down that hole and they got to get themselves out. But we are there to welcome them and give them the love and the acceptance and the stability for them to land on, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is not going to be for everyone, you know, but I just wanted to encourage everyone to do or not do that which your heart tells you to do. To continue to search outward and inward for the truth. We need to see what's going on around. And there's a lot being told, a lot being shown, a lot being inverted, a lot of stories, and truth mixed up in all the tiny pieces. So then you have to go inward to go, well, okay. And me personally, I am doing a lot of observing and a lot of detachment of everything. Even if I see the narrative being shown of something that is awesome, that I think is awesome, like an awesome outcome, you know, that such and such is going to happen, you know, and you're like, oh gosh, I hope so. But that's all. I'm like, that would be great. That would be really great if that happened. But I'm not putting any eggs in any baskets. All my eggs are mine. So that's where I'm at the moment. Because there's just so much, so many layers of agendas. So a movement is created that is for the support and the protection of a certain agenda, which on the outside looks like a positive thing, a good thing for humanity and the planet. And it starts out that way. And then it's hijacked because it's got people's attention and it's got momentum, and it's easily hijacked and turned into something else. And then you're going that way. And it's taken all these people with them, right? But then the same is happening in the other way. So I believe that there's plenty of dark agendas, negative agendas, control agendas, creating narrative, creating environments and narratives that aim to distract us from the truth, to reel us back into the loop, the fear, the anger, the separation. And yet that is also being hijacked and taking that momentum and redirecting it in a direction that is going to have a good outcome from the viewpoint of freeing humanity from the control agenda. So everything's being hijacked. Everything could be anything. It's just so complex and so it's just so much of everything. So I am personally I'm very interested in a lot of topics. I read and I look at a lot of things. I don't share much because I just don't know. I don't know. And I have been caught out a couple of times where I've shared something and it's turned out to be completely false. And I'm like, you know what? I got caught out. I got too excited. I got caught by that one. So it's really up to each of us to just make up our own minds. And or not even make up your own mind. A dear good friend, Rebecca Dawson, has channeled some amazing information through her guides. There's a great information about belief. And I would just like to encourage people to just think and review where your beliefs lay in everything and anything. So not just, oh, I believe that's going to happen, or I believe that agenda is good, or I believe that person. Like belief as a thing in itself. Yeah. So I am just not believing anything to help me not use belief itself to help me make my choices, to help me navigate my way in the world right now. I'm trying not to use belief at all, whether I believe something to be true or false or good or bad. It's just going back to a knowing, an internal knowing, and also just to make things even crazier, an internal knowing that you know nothing. So that's me. And I am happily plodding along. I am trying to also refocus a lot of my energy because there are days that I just want to read. I just want to watch videos and see what people have to say. I'm very curious. I want to hear different points of view, and I spend sometimes I catch myself spending a lot of time doing that, and then I realize that's not actually, there's a benefit to a certain degree, but then I think, oh, How many hours over the last week did I use doing that? And how many of those hours could I have maybe done something more creative that brings me out of that storyline, out of all those timelines, all of them that crisscrossing and being spliced together, out of those completely, and using my creative energy to create something that is more aligned with what I actually really want to do in this world, right? So, that's what I have been doing, and I've got a bunch of new events that I have released, and it's been great to focus on that. So I encourage you to do that as well. Just catch yourself and go, okay, I've invested too much time in that. I'm going to use my energy for me now. I am going to go do this because it's going to make me feel joyful. It's going to make me feel grounded. It's going to make me feel fulfilled. It's going to make me focus on what I want to be in this world. And I'm going to do that right now because nothing can stop me. Nothing can actually get in the way right now unless you jump on the bandwagon of some sort of story or belief and then off you go. But if you pull away your energy and go, that's interesting, that's interesting, that's interesting, and not let it have any of your energy, you have all your energy and all your choice to do what you want with it. So, that is all today. I hope everyone is just doing what you've got to do. I hope everyone is staying connected with Soul Family. And you know what? If you're having a really good day, sorry, my feet are getting pins and needles. Last thing I want to finish on. If you're having a good day, if you're feeling joyful and vibrant and excited, do not feel guilty. Celebrate that and go just immerse yourself in your own joyful happiness. Celebrate it. Don't feel guilty that, oh, I shouldn't be feeling happy right now because look at all this shit going on in the world, right? No. We can't be doing that. So, yeah, it might feel a little odd to feel really great some days when there's plenty of people in the world that aren't. But that's what I say. That's what they want us to do. The last thing they expect us to do is to go, I'm going to be happy anyway. I'm going to choose to go create something that brings me joy, regardless of all this crap that you are shoving in front of my face to try and distract me and make me feel all these other emotions that support your agenda. I have my own agenda, and my agenda is to be joyful and creative and in community and happy, and that's the last thing they expect us to do. And I tell you, if you're one of those people who maybe aren't going to be in that stronghold and aren't going to be able to really detach from the horrific crimes that are going to be revealed soon, then maybe your job is not there at all. Maybe your job is just to go, I'm going to be over here in my own little world, being as happy as I can and holding a level of happiness and joy on this planet. Because you know what, we're going to need that. We're really, really, really going to need that. If that feels like you, then, that's a really important job. Really important job that we still have some level of joy on this planet and happiness on this planet. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. And blessings to everyone. And take it day by day. It's just going to be interesting. Who knows what's going to happen next? I do feel like something big is around the corner, but it's kind of been feeling like that for a while. And the tension and the excitement and the intensity is just getting more and more and more compound and more and more and more. So let's bring it on already, whatever it's got to be, right? Okay, signing off. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again later. Bye.